Hey, how's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Blake. I'm from California, the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo.
How did you end up in Korea?
I'm here for a training exercise. I can't get into the specifics,
Sure.
but it strengthens our alliance with the Korean people and the Korean military. So it's a great exercise, and I'll tell you what, like the counterparts that we were working with, the Korean people, they are amazing.
Yeah.
They are extremely hardworking, and they know how to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they love soju.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's been a great time since I've been. I've only been here for 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
I've definitely felt very welcomed and very safe too.
Is this your first time in Korea?
Yeah, this is my first time in Korea, first time in Asia. Right from the start, like I've noticed that Korean people are very hard workers.
Okay.
Like for example, just even walking on the set here, like I'll walk past like a store owner. I'll see him in the morning and I'll walk by at night and it's the same shop owner working like all day. So there's pros and cons to that because the pros obviously is like they are very efficient and they will get things done.
Yeah.
The downside of that could probably be, are they neglecting other areas of their life? You know,
Work-life balance.
Exactly. Yeah. Do they have friends? Do they make other commitments that they're able to uphold, or is it just like, hey, we only have to work?
Did anything shock you when you got here? They were like, wow, this is not what I expected.
I guess the food. I love. I mean.
KBBQ.
Yeah. yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I've never really experienced like Korean food, but I love like ramen. I love sushi. Like those are more like Japanese, but still, there's a lot of that here. So I guess some food, like I ate, like I think it was chicken intestines. Because I was in Daegu.
The intestines,
just a couple
grilled?
days ago. Yeah, grilled.
Yeah,
grilled.
delicious.
Great.
Yeah.
It's the thought that makes it gross to me. But then like actually eating it, and they didn't tell me till afterwards, and I was like, that was really good. I'd eat it again.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest.
It's really
shock.
good when you put it on rice too.
Yes.
Would you come back again to Korea?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would like to come back apart from being in a training exercise so I can maybe explore a little bit more and get to know people a little bit more. But what I've seen so far, I really enjoyed.
Hey, I'm Sean. I'm here in Pyeongtaek. There's a lot of different types of people here. We're going to go talk to them. Let's go. Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Kaden. I'm originally from Tennessee.
What brings you to Korea?
I was deployed here for a specific mission on base.
Being in Korea, is there anything that is like way different than you expected? You were kind of shocked by this, like culturally or the food or the way people are or anything like this is just way different than you imagined?
Before I came out here, I kind of expected more people to speak English.
Oh, yeah.
I guess kind of because like their culture, pop culture, mimics ours a lot. I guess towards Seoul, a lot more people do speak English, but out here, it's not so much. At least learning Hangul, being able to read and stuff. I don't, my buddy does, but I can already see like how much it's helped him. Because some things read in Hangul, but it's just like Korean pronunciations of English things. So
Yeah, right.
If you can read it, you can sometimes just figure out what it is.
Yeah, right. Like pizza or internet. Yeah.
Or ice panela latte.
Do you think this is a nice place to live? Do you see yourself being here a while longer?
Korea's a great place to live. The cost of living is super low, super safe. Public transportation is really good. And everyone's pretty friendly too. If you ask them for help, they'll help you as best they can. Like if you don't know where to go, sometimes they'll lead you where to go if you can ask them.
Were you a little worried coming over because it's so close to North Korea? Was that ever like a concern?
Kind of. I mean, since the U.S. is here, the U.S. military is here, it's a big enough deterrence that it's really not too big of a concern.
Nothing to worry about.
No, I don't think so. I think the worst thing to worry about is the pollution coming over from China.
Okay.
The air quality.
Yeah.
I think that's like been my biggest
Grievance
here.
Yeah.
I've had like 3 or 4 sinus infections.
No way. Yeah.
It's definitely worth wearing a mask whenever it looks like a little fog out or checking your weather app and the air quality's bad.
Favorite Korean food?
Just Korean barbecue.
Yeah. 삼겹살.
Kogi.
성인이 되어서 언어를 배우는 게 얼마나 어려운지 그리고 어떻게 해야 진짜로 늘 수 있는지 저는 잘 압니다. 제가 아는 모든 노하우를 25개 강의 안에 전부 담았어요. 그 강의 이름은 바로 원어민의 빠른 영어입니다. 자연스러운 발음 트레이닝, 예문 분석, 워크시트, 그리고 넷플릭스 장면 분석, 어휘 확장 레슨까지 모두 들어 있습니다. 이 강의 하나면 자막 없이 넷플릭스를 이해할 수 있게 될 거예요. 이 과정은 여러분을 안 들려요 단계에서 자막 없이도 들려요 단계까지 끌어올려 줄 거예요. 아래 링크를 눌러보시고 이 강의가 어떤 변화를 만들어 볼 수 있는지 직접 확인해 보세요.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
Staff Sergeant Ski, and I'm from North Carolina.
Cool. What was that name again?
Ski.
Ski.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Polish. Okay, nice to meet you, Ski. Do you speak Polish?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Yeah, not a chance. Not at all.
Okay, but your name is Polish.
Yes.
Got you. What brought you to Korea originally?
Initially just travel. I've always
Yes.
wanted to come here, and then I got assigned over here. So I was like, hell yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Because you already liked Korea.
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
And then, luckily for me, I got Japan right afterwards. So I was like, nice.
Is that like the dream for most people in the military? Korea and Japan?
Yes, 100%. Everyone that I talk to about it, they're like, oh my God, you're lucky. I'm like, yeah, I lucked out.
Yeah.
That's really, I'm like, yeah.
Cool. Before coming to Korea, was there anything you were worried about or wanted to prepare for, or you were researching? I want to know like what you were thinking about at that time.
The partying.
Yes.
That was one thing that I heard about, and I was like, okay, I really don't like to party that much. So I was kind of nervous about that. Like, I don't want to get sucked into the party scene.
Interesting.
I heard that the fashion was completely different. I was like, all right, I want to do some more research into it, and I love the clothes here. I want to say that.
You like the style.
I love it. It's fantastic. Can't wait to start buying more pieces from here.
What do you mean about the party scene? You were worried about that
Mostly just this strip right here.
where we are now.
Yeah, it's just, they call it the SED.
The SED.
Yeah, the SED. I don't know why they call it that.
Okay.
I never asked. I was like, sure, okay. But I heard that people get sucked into like the partying, the drinking.
Guess that happens a lot here.
Yeah, because it's initially it was only like a 1 year thing. So I was like, all right. But yeah, I heard about it and I was like, I don't want to come here and just be another like statistic. But I didn't want to be somebody that just come here and party. I have a really strong goal of finishing my degree while I'm here.
Oh.
So that's really what I'm doing, just school and lifting.
And lifting. Great, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you heard about that, you were worried about that. What is the reality after actually living here?
So I've been here for about 4 months now.
Uh-huh.
I can say it's not as bad as what I heard initially.
Okay.
I think,
There's other things to do besides
Yeah,
party
just partying.
around this area.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a lot of good food here too, because it's so diverse, right?
So much good food.
Yeah.
So much good food. And I like food a lot. I'm a foodie. Thankfully, I've been able to find healthier options while I'm here, not just like greasy, unhealthy foods.
Given the option, would you continue to live in Korea, maybe like even long term?
I think after I retire, yeah. Like the culture is super nice. People are really welcoming. Food's fresh here. So I could see myself living.
All the things you like.
Yeah, all the things I like. Peaceful, calm.
Hey, how's it going? What are your names and where are you from?
I'm Nadine and I'm from Canada.
Stacy from the US.
What are you guys doing in South Korea?
I've lived here for 8 years. I came as an English teacher and now I'm married to Korean, so now I'm doing freelance English teaching.
Very cool.
Yeah, I met my husband in Japan and we decided to move to his hometown in Korea, and I teach English as well. So that's why I'm here, is because I wanted to get to know his culture, because it's very different from Japan.
Korean culture is very different from Japan.
I feel like they're very different in terms of how you see your community.
Okay.
Japan, it's all about the harmony with everybody in your like anybody, even strangers. But in Korea, it's very much there's harmony within your group. But people outside of your group are just complete strangers that you don't worry about.
More individualistic.
Individualistic, but still
Yeah.
has that strong
So
group
like the
mentality.
outsider is very strongly the outsider from like your experience,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like Koreans have like kind of a group. So it's like if you're in the family or your kids are around the same age or you go to the same school, like if you have that community, then you're part of this. But like if you're not, you're very not part of it. In
Makes
her,
sense.
for her, like
Yeah.
experience.
I guess you've talked about that.
Yeah, so I've like heard from her a lot of like how
yeah.
she's felt about that.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
say that's necessarily my experience, but
Okay.
that's what I've heard from like you, right?
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
if you're shopping for something at the grocery store, in Japan you give people space. But in Korea they're like pari, quick. I need to,
yeah.
so
Go
even
quickly,
though
yeah.
you haven't even paid, they're kind of right behind you,
Like rushing
breathing
you
down
or
your
trying
neck
to
type.
get you,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You felt that.
yes, yeah. It's like I feel panic. Like I gotta get ready to pack those groceries in. Yeah, it's very a lot of
Stressful,
pressure.
yeah.
Yeah, but in Japan you have to be mindful of people's
Interesting.
feelings and respect their space. Well,
So-
even how you eat is different.
Okay.
Yeah, so like in Japan you hold your bowl and you eat.
Yeah.
In Korea you don't do that. It's just there's like little tiny
Everywhere.
things that are different that I have to be careful
Yeah.
when I eat in front of Koreans. I grew up in Japan, and so
You grew up in Japan.
Yeah.
Very cool.
and there
Is
was
that your
Kor-
first language?
No, English is.
but she's fluent in Japanese.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you think growing up in Japan has affected you and given you maybe like a Japanese kind of perspective on a lot of things?
Yeah, I'm definitely bicultural because of growing up in Japan.
Sure.
So I have kind of mixed. Sometimes I'm American, sometimes I'm Japanese. Yeah.
I think the
yeah.
Japanese influence definitely comes through though.
Yeah,
As your
yes,
friend?
Yeah, I
can
can
see
see
it.
how Japanese,
Yeah.
like her Japanese worldview influences her opinions.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
sometimes I don't see it, but yeah, I think I do have some
Yeah.
characteristics influenced by.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Adam. I originally came from Maine, and
Yeah.
I joined into the military and came here over to Korea.
Is it hard to get over to Korea? Is it competitive? Because I know there's many places you can be stationed.
It's not really competitive. It's not really how it works. It kind of just random chance. I've enjoyed my stay here, though.
Got you. Were you scared at all before coming, just because, we're so close to North Korea?
No, I actually got into the military to explore, and I was hoping to get deployed somewhere that was far away from home.
Okay.
So I was actually really excited.
How are you enjoying your time in Korea now, and how long have you been here?
I've been here for a while now, but I've been enjoying my stay a lot. It's been super fun getting to know, especially around here on the SED.
Yeah.
And I've gone over to Seoul to explore over there to like the zoo and the water parks. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of fun there. I'm not much of a drinker, so
Okay.
I don't go to like the bars and stuff, but I go
Yeah.
to a lot of the restaurants.
Yeah. What's been your favorite Korean food?
Probably gimbap. The rolls are like kind of like sushi rolls.
Yeah, right.
They taste really good to me, and I have them for lunch, so
All the time.
all the time.
Do you see yourself staying in Korea for a while now?
Yeah, I'd probably stay for a while.
Yeah.
If I had the chance, I'd probably stay here for as long as I can. It's either that or going back to Japan.
Do you think Korea and Japan are very different?
They're similar in a lot of likes, but they definitely have their differences. You see a lot of like stores that come out into the streets, but over in Japan, everything is kind of a lot neater.
So the advertising and all that stuff, chairs, it all comes out into the streets in South Korea.
Yes.
But in Japan, everything's like more uniform, kind of staying in my own space.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a really interesting observation.
I've also noticed that the people over in Japan are a lot more closed in than over here in Korea. A lot of people, they'll invite you into their house over here in Korea.
Yeah.
Or like their businesses, like they'll try and get you to come in, where over in Japan it's a lot of look at the building, and if you want to go in then you can.
I think that extends like friendships as well.
It's a lot warmer here in terms of just how people treat you.
And do you think that is more compatible with you, or maybe you as an American?
It can be, yeah.
Yeah. So I maybe have a little more unique answer than a lot of the English teachers who
Sure,
come to
sure.
Korea nowadays. A lot of them kind of come for Hallyu or the Korean wave or Korean culture. But I came because I heard the salaries for English teachers were like much higher than the cost of living.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pay off my student loans like kind of quickly within a couple of years. But after coming, the cost of living had kind of risen a lot. So it wasn't really possible to pay off my loan in a year or two.
Right.
In the same situation. So I was like, all right, I'll travel for a year or so, and then I'll maybe like get my master's and go to the Middle East or something. I plan to kind of keep traveling the world. Like I like to, have a lot of adventures, travel, things like that. And then after a year in Korea, I met my husband, and now I'm here.
Wow. Okay. And you've just stayed here since?
Yeah. His
for-
hometown is Cheonan, so we live there. So
For 8 years now?
yeah.
And you're teaching English?
Yeah, so I freelance now. So I
Okay.
teach a lot of different kind of some different lessons and company classes, university classes, public school classes, just different things here and there.
Do you see yourself being in Korea for a while longer? Do you like it here, or how does that look for you guys?
We probably plan to stay forever.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
plan. My husband is studying to be like certified tax attorney in Korea, which is
Cool.
called Semusa, and so he's going to write the first test in April this year. And so if he passes the first and second test, then he'll go into training and he'll pursue his career there. And the healthcare system is a lot better. Like quality of life is really good here, so we plan to settle down here forever.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. Did you enjoy it? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Sean, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.